Welcome to Next. I'm meteorologist Kathy Saban, tracking tornadic supercells out on the eastern plains that just keep going and going. One of two tornadoes touching down up in Weld County earlier today. Dramatic pictures coming in on social media on 9news.com. Hail reports, ping pong, tennis ball size hail with a line of storms that's moving now into extreme eastern Colorado, western Nebraska and Kansas. Tornado warning for southeastern Yuma County, west central Cheyenne County. Tornado and tennis ball size hail possible near Ray and also Burlington. First tornado touchdown near Keensburg in Weld County around 2. Second one near Lyman. Reports of damage because of the wind and also the hail, but we have deadly lightning to show you as well. And Denver under a tornado watch until 7 o'clock tonight. Even though things are relatively calm and quiet here, the hail and the storms off to the east of us could redevelop in the city yet tonight between 9 and 10 o'clock. So don't be fooled by a lull in the action in downtown Denver. A very active night of weather, and temperatures tomorrow will be very similar to the ones that we enjoyed today. And then we're going to start summer, with sunshine and temperatures in the 80s. But the outflow boundary could mean additional showers and storms right here in the metro area later on tonight. Tomorrow, however, will be warmer and drier. We'll look for those severe storms to wind down late tonight around midnight. We'll start off in the 50s tomorrow. Partly sunny, upper 70s, less thunderstorm development, less in the way of severe storms, and then sunshine and 80s, Kyle, for Thursday and for Friday for the start of summer.
Busy day. Kathy Saban, thank you. I didn't think I was going to live to see the day. The training wheels are coming off the A-line train. Regulators are going to let the crossing guard flaggers wave nonchalantly at us one more time and then walk off into the sunset, perhaps to flag RTD's next semi-functional train line for years. The decision impacts 6 crossings where drivers will now have to get by only with flashing lights and gates and signs that tell you that there's a train crossing. This will be at Clayton, Steele, Holly, Dahlia, Chambers, and Havana. The issue all along was that the gates would come down too early and stay down too long. RTD says it's fixed. State and federal regulators agree, so the crossing guards can go as early as Friday morning. The horns remind us of something else. This is also a step closer to sweet silence for people who live nearby.
This is also a big step forward for establishing quiet zones through the Federal Railroad Administration that will hopefully be approved to allow us to operate without having to blow horns going through each one of those grade crossings, which we know is a bit disturbing.
Oh, that'll be the day too. We're going to celebrate that. RTD says there are 5 other crossings that will keep their flaggers for now. State regulators will hold a hearing on those in the next few weeks. Primary voting ends 1 week from tonight, though you don't need me to tell you that because there is a mass texodus happening now in Colorado. We told you how to get the annoying calls and texts to stop. If you vote, the campaigns will see that you have turned in your ballot and they will leave you alone. But our Marshall Zellinger took a closer look and found out that the texts you're getting, they aren't coming from real phone numbers.
All right, Giselle. Next, viewers have been kind enough to send us screenshots of text messages they've received from political campaigns, like this one from Giselle on behalf of Joe Salazar's campaign for Attorney General, and this one from Giselle from Joe Salazar's campaign with a different phone number.
Configure your number's voice URL to change this message.
Well, that wasn't Giselle. All right, let's try Giselle from a different phone number.
Thanks for the call.
Phil Weiser's campaign for Attorney General has a volunteer named Mia, who also texted 2 voters the same info from 2 different phone numbers.
The number you dialed has been changed, disconnected, or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, welcome to Verizon Wireless.
Yesterday, Bitmoji Me told you this. The FCC does not allow text spam from an auto dialer unless you've previously given permission. Well, based on my research, the campaigns are not using auto dial or mass text technology. You're getting text messages sent by the same person from different phone numbers because they're using software or an app that works similar to this demo. I tested a peer-to-peer texting service online today. It simulated buying a phone number, typing out a text, and seeing that text sent from that paid-for phone number. I checked with the FCC and was told if no harm is intended or caused, spoofing the phone number is not illegal. Now, I talked with Joe Salazar's campaign and Phil Weiser's campaign. Both tell me they can have conversations with you over text if you respond. Well, this person put it to the test with Phil Weiser's campaign. They sent that same generic text to the response 3 minutes later. Are you a real person or a computer? 3 hours later, you must be a computer. Type the word stop and you get an automatic you've successfully unsubscribed. Seems like a computer to me, but the FCC still says that this is legit, Kyle.
Her name is Giselle, Marshall. Giselle. She texted me back. All right, thank you. So in these primaries, about 1 in 4 votes coming from unaffiliated voters who can participate for the first time by voting one party ballot or the other. Not both. They won't count. We've said it a million times. Here's the deal. A not insignificant number of these unaffiliated ballots are being tossed out for that reason. We've learned it's 3% in Denver and in Weld County. 2% have been tossed out in Jeffco, 1% in Boulder County, and Arapahoe County unaffiliateds. Get with the program. More than 5% of your ballots have been tossed out because people filled out and sent back both. Vote just one. The immigration debate is focused at the border right now, but only 10 states have a larger percentage of the population here illegally than Colorado does. People here illegally make up about 4% of Colorado's population. Now, 2014 is the last year for which we have reliable numbers, but they are worth seeing from the Pew Research Center.
Almost 10 out of every 100 Coloradans were born outside the U.S. Of those immigrants, 1 in 3 is here illegally. It's about 200,000 people living in Colorado illegally, larger than the population of Fort Collins. More than half live in the Denver metro area. They are overwhelmingly 70% from Mexico. In Colorado's schools, 1 in 10 students has a parent who is here illegally. Only California, Texas, Arizona, and Nevada have a larger percentage of school students who wonder if their parents will be allowed to stay.
Our governor, John Hickenlooper, who often avoids taking positions like most people avoid taking poison, still will not say which Democrat he supports to succeed him in office. He donated to all 4 of them. And despite urging his Lieutenant Governor Donald Lynn personally to get into the race, he still could not bring himself to tell our politics guy Brandon Ritteman that he actually voted for her.
People have been casting ballots. You just came from turning yours in. Who'd you pick as your successor?
Well, you know, there are 4 great candidates, and I think I'm going to take that decision, you know, long past this election. I don't want to create any discord.
With the caveat that you would support any of the 4, you won't tell me who you picked?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I won't.
Oh, absolutely you won't. Wow, taking it to the grave?
Well,
this one?
I wouldn't go that far. Probably talk to me in 3 weeks.
Our full conversation with Governor Hickenlooper on a variety of topics airs Sunday on Balance of Power, just before Meet the Press.
Pride and paint combine in Thornton. What would you give up to keep Colorado from burning down this summer? How about your campfire?
Is it easy? Look at the big picture and I think it becomes very easy.
And the cranes flying over Denver have remade this city in the last 5 years. A map shows us how as we examine what's next.
Denver's seen rapid development downtown in the last 5 years. I mean, there's a look way back to the 1960s. We've outpaced a lot of cities around the country, but if we're being honest, it's because that's where we were in the 60s. This is where we were in 1981. We lagged behind on downtown development for decades. Well, today, the Downtown Denver Partnership unveiled a map of the last 5 years' worth of new projects, that flock of cranes we've seen in our sky. And their vice president, Randy Thielen, stopped by to talk about what's next. When you take a look at this map, so we're looking at the downtown city core over 5 years. What do you see from this perspective that you don't always see when you drive the streets?
Yeah, and it's nice to take that sort of 5-year snapshot. I think sometimes when you go day to day, month to month, you don't really fully capture it. When you look at a 5-year window, you see incredible growth. Just the dots on the map represent new construction over the course of the past 5 years. $5 billion worth of new investment. We've had this historic commercial core here where we see the office towers, if you will, the skyscrapers.
Older Denver here.
Older Denver, 1970s, 1980s construction that's starting to see some redevelopment. But really what's happened is we've had this concentration of Union Station development that's really triggered a lot of activity in this part of town, including crossing the river into the Platte Valley area. The convention center, the development there has brought in all kinds of new hotel activity. Really, we've seen almost a doubling of hotel rooms in the last 10 years, a remarkable growth in downtown. And then around our sort of center city, our core, We've seen residential populate the Arapahoe Square area, the Cultural District, Golden Triangle, and again back at Union Station. So we've seen a tripling of residential population in downtown since the year 2000.
So this is the area around Pepsi Center. You've got Elitch's down here. This is a parking desert in the center, and we've been telling people what's going to happen here over the next couple of years. The parking is going to go into garages, structures, and then the development. This is massive down here.
It is, and it's an opportunity almost unparalleled across the country. I mean, to have 60-plus acres of prime development real estate in the heart of a city like Denver is pretty extraordinary. It's roughly a fifth of the center city or the downtown core. Tremendous opportunity with anchors. The Pepsi Center is an entertainment hub. The riverfront is really an untapped resource for us downtown. We're going to reverse that. We're going to put the public on the water. Bike paths, walking paths, green areas for picnics, you name it. It's going to be a great amenity for downtown.
Well, goodness knows there couldn't be any more asphalt down there if they tried. So looking forward to some grass and trees. Appreciate the perspective and the map. This will be on the next Facebook page and in this article on 9news.com if people want to take their own look. What would you paint if your city was your canvas? The Hispanic Latino Spanish Student Union from Thornton High School proposed painting symbols of pride, heritage, and unity. Their idea won a Metro State University contest, and today we caught up with them hard at work.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I think it looks really nice. We're painting basically how the school, its mascots, and how they sort of represent the culture of the school.
Here, it'll look like highlight. Oh, that was a mistake.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. I'm the class of 2020 at Thornton High School, so I'm a junior this year. Overall, I see positivity and because this school, doesn't have the best reputation. It's been called ghetto and these things, and when you see this, you don't see that. You see, hey, these kids, are kind of breaking those reputations and stuff.
We haven't written it down, but it's gonna say, we are the shapers of cultures, we are the workers of change, and we are the dreamers of dreams.
My name is J. Michael Jaramillo. I graduated in the class of 2008 at Thornton High School. So the piece that resonates with me the most is the more of the traditional Trojan who's he's showing strength, and he's also showing he has a shield where he's protecting the school. He's able to really, be anybody who he wants to be.
Oh yeah. It's kind of exciting, in the future I'm gonna drive by and I'm gonna have children and they're gonna be like, oh, my mom painted that when she was in high school, so it might be cool.
Might be cool. Same students are hoping to get approval from the district for a second mural on the other side of the bridge connecting to Thornton Middle School.
A well-known Olympian wants to change the way we camp in the mountains.
Just remember you're a guest and live like that, because these mountains are truly special and they can be taken away.
And another edition of What Do You Say? It has me second-guessing the name of a town. That's next.
What's a camping trip without a s'more or a campfire? Not ringed by song. Well, it's a night in the mountains that does not endanger our forests is what it is. Olympic snowboarder and Colorado native Justin Ryder says he loves s'mores as much as the next guy, but he says he loves trees some more. So he's asking you to consider no campfire camping.
Right now we're sitting on the banks of Lake Dillon, the place where I grew up, I cut my teeth. I would describe myself as a person who's just trying to do his best, respect the place that he lives and that he loves, and leave it better than I found it. My name is Justin Ryder. I'm a retired professional snowboarder, Olympian, Olympic gold medal coach, and big outdoor enthusiast. Looking around and seeing how quickly the snow's melted, how little there was to begin with, it's really disheartening. And very often we look at the things we do as more important than the environment in which we play. No matter how passionate and how loving I am towards the outdoors, there's an inherent risk with being there. From cigarette butts to sparks from gunfire to motorcycles without spark arresters and just errant campfire sparks. Over the past couple weeks, I've been watching the 416 fire down south, and a lot of friends have been affected by it. Seeing how much it's affecting them, I really started to think about the impact that we as humans overall and myself personally make on the risks of creating forest fires. For me, camping and campfires have always been synonymous. It's one without the other. You can't have it. And I made a post last week after thinking about it for some time that I would have a campfire-free summer. Rely on good gear, warm tents, and whiskey. Keep us warm when the nights get cold. And that's a big move for me, considering I spend more nights underneath the stars than I do underneath the ceiling. And there's a lot of nostalgia surrounding campfires for me, but it's just not worth it. I do think that one voice can make a difference, just like one action can make a difference. Have some perspective when we go outside and we go to enjoy these beautiful places, because we are a guest. It's our responsibility to be stewards of the land, and I hope that people can do that. Is it easy? Look at the big picture, and I think it becomes very easy.
How about that big picture at the end? That stunning time lapse was the work of our photojournalist Chris Hansen, who was up early to meet Justin in Silverthorne this morning to hear his perspective in a dry year. Time for another edition of What Do You Say? This time we head just north of Winter Park to a town that starts with an F. And a few of you have asked us to sort out this pronunciation. Robert emailed and said, I know a lot of folks, even natives, mispronounce the name of this town. Then Ethan tweeted us last night and said, my girlfriend says Fraser like the show, but I want to say Fraser. Shout your guess at the TV now, loud enough that I can hear it, or else it doesn't count, before we ask the mayor, what do you say?
I would say it is pronounced Fraser with an S, S-E-R. Fraser. Frazier, Fraser, so S-I-E-R or Z-E-R are the two most common mistakes when people pronounce Fraser, is trying to add in that Z sound or S-I-E-R sound.
Settled. Mayor says people misspell Fraser all the time. They put the I before the E. All right, where do we head next? A town, a city, a mountain range, a river, a street? Anything that you've heard more than one pronunciation of. We'll try to figure out the real story. Email next@9news.com or get our attention with the hashtag #HeyNext. The most Colorado thing we saw today is a mother's act of love before all that hail arrived. And your feedback next. The most Colorado thing we saw today is a mother willing to fight off nature for her son. Beneath all of the towels and the blankets last night was this 2008 Saab, the prized possession of Rebecca McLean's son, Kevon. He's 17. They live in North Glen. They were right in the path of last night's monster hail. Rebecca says they gathered up every blanket and towel they could find as the hail fell, and she noted, I have a few bruises from helping him out. Car looks great, though. That's sweet. We get more photos for this segment than any other lately. You've crossed a line. A chance to tell a neighbor that they are literally out of line. And this special parking job was spotted yesterday at the Costco in Arvada. No, sir, that is not a special spot for you with the lines on the ground. That is so that our neighbors with handicap placards can safely get in and out of their vehicles. Come on, dude. Yeah, you know it's a guy just as much as I do. Don't do this. Send us pictures of people who've crossed the line. Next@9news.com is the email, or you can always use the hashtag #HeyNext. We finish with your feedback. A lot of feedback about ballot issues. KL says, do you have to vote all portions of the ballot for it to count? No, you don't. You can vote in some races and not in others, but you can only send back the Democratic ballot or the Republican ballot. Nancy says, if they can't figure out which ballot to use, how do they decide which candidates? It's scary out there. See you next time.